Alright guys, how's it going? I'm the Crown Clown, and here we're back at it again with some more Hamon. Now then, I know you guys are enjoying this series, so I'm going to do my best to give you more of this series. And just to let you know, Hamon will be wrapping up pretty soon. So yeah, we're going to get ready to build up for What If Deku Was Grimmjow. That's coming out next. And as soon as Fairy Tail ends, it's What If Deku Was Tiki Meek. So I hope you guys are ready. Those two are going to be hype, and I'm going to throw in some comedy, of course. But Tiki Meek is going to be more of a serious tone. It's going to be a Deku that's not going to go to UA or any hero school at all, to be honest. So I hope you guys are looking forward to Tiki Meek, because Deku's going to have a very close-knit relationship with a villain and a certain organization in that one. So, yeah. Anyways, as we're going through here today with Hamon, we're going to kick it off with a quick little recap. But before we do, if you guys are enjoying this series like I know you guys are, then go ahead, drop me a like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And as always, I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you guys go back through my channel and view all the other what ifs and see this huge change that's occurred on the channel over my storytelling in just a few months. And I hope you guys enjoy those earlier stories, because to be honest, they're really good. Kind of on the long side, but really good. Anyways, so with that, let's jump right back in here with a quick little recap. So, where we last left off, it was the sports festival, and Kirishima and Shinzo's hero names were the Pillar Man and Dio Death. Yeah, we're getting Dio up in this bitch one way or another. He might be dead and gone, but Shinzo will be Dio, damn it. Because, I hear you, this wouldn't be a JoJo without a Dio reference, at least once. And, of course, Deku is taking high offense to the Pillar Man and the Dio, because of ancestral things. And, yeah, so, let's pick up right where we left off, right here. So, after he won the whole sports festival, Uraraka would run up to Deku and say, "Hey, you did awesome. I didn't know you were that strong." And Deku says, "Well, I've told you. I am a Zeppeli. We are strong, we are stubborn, and, well, that's pretty much it." And Uraraka says, no, you're a gentleman. Deku says, always have to be the gentleman. And pretty much, after that, Deku takes Uraraka out to eat because it's to celebrate. And Monoma tags along with Kendo, so it's pretty much a group little thing. Because yeah, Monoma, him and Kendo have actually been kind of bonding a whole lot. Since Monoma doesn't have that whole inferiority complex anymore, he's actually a lot more tolerable. But he still looks down upon people. Instead of him feeling inferior and looking down on Class 1A, he feels superior and he's looking down on Class 1B. As he says, "Oh, what's wrong? Got your asses kicked by Class 1A, did you?" And everyone's just like, "Dude, you got your ass kicked too." And Monoma's like, "What?" And yeah, Monoma's just being Monoma at this point. And Kendo, she still smacks the fuck out of him and tells him to calm it down. And Deku, he tells him, "That's not the proper way we conduct ourselves, Monoma." And Monoma is just like, You're right. I'm sorry. It must be hard keeping up with us as hard as you are." And basically, like all of Class 1B, including Bakugo at this point, who's lost half his teeth. Bakugo literally just has half his teeth in his mouth. So, yeah. The boy's gonna get some dentures. Yeah, so... Man, I need to quit doing Bakugo dirty. The comment section's gonna hate this shit. But, yeah. So, they're out to eat. And it's at basically a ramen shop. And this is the first time Deku's literally going to have dinner with friends at a ramen place like this, and he's just like, man, do I love this food. And Uraki's like, this is like kind of the cheapest food in Japan, and Deku's just like, hey, it might be cheap, but at the same time, it is delicious. You cannot deny the flavor that seeps from the noodles, the broth, the smell. It's all extravagant. We are so bringing this back to Italy. It'll be a fucking culinary success. And Uraka's like, you literally don't have ramen in Italy? There's ramen everywhere around the world. And Deku's, I hope you don't mean cupped ramen or the instant ramen noodles. No, we're bringing this, the whole stand, the way it's cooked, everything to Italy. We're not leaving this place without it. And Uraka says, then why don't you just settle down in Japan permanently if you love it so much? Deku goes, I know that I'm trying to become a hero, and Japan is where I'm going to school at, but I really have to go back to Italy at some point. And Uraka says, well, why don't you just become, I know you're Italian, but if you're going to become a hero in Japan, you need to become a Japanese citizen, right? After all, you've been here for almost 2 years. Deku, he looks at her and he says, well, that's true, but even so, I do miss home. Italy, it's a beautiful place and a beautiful country. And Uraka's looking at Deku and she says, I never did tell you my reason for wanting to become a hero, did I? And Deku says, no, but I never told you my reason either. As Monoma just says, speaking of which, you never told me your reason for being a hero. And Deku's like, I didn't. I thought I did. I could have swore I did. And Monoma's like, no. Trust me, I would remember this. You never did. Ever. And Kendo's like, well, if you don't mind, would you tell me too? And Deku looks at them and he pops the hat. He gets himself comfortable. He says, of course, I, Izuku Midoriya Zeppeli. And Uraka says, just cut to the chase. We don't need your whole name and everything like that. And Deku looks at her. He says, do not interrupt the name. Never interrupt the name. The name's the whole reason I'm becoming a hero. Uraka's like, that name? And Deku says, not just the first two, the last one in particular. Zeppeli. My ancestors, every Zeppeli that's ever lived, has done something great with their lives. Two of my ancestors in particular, William A. Zeppeli and Caesar A. Zeppeli, they have conquered many great feats and difficult tasks. The training they underwent was rigorous, extreme. Even back then in their time, it was considered insanity to even try to attempt the Hamon training that they did. And they went on to accomplish great things. But the deal is, they died at young ages. To become a Zeppeli, you have to do great things that will immortalize you in the Zeppeli Hall of Fame, to make your name remembered through the centuries that my ancestors have. Caesar, he died at the hands of a pillar man. And Mono's like, that's why you were so hard on Kirishima. And Deku's like, of course, that name, it burns my blood. My Hamon runs rampant. It's boiling me up inside. I just can't take it. He was crushed in a church of all places by a rock in the shape of a cross. But before he died, he got the final antidote, infused all of his Hamon, his life force, into a blood bubble, and left it for his friend who was poisoned And basically Uraraka's like, that's intense. What about Will? As Deku says, the man of greatness. A true gentleman with the true drip. He trained a young man by the name of Jonathan Joestar in England in the late 19th century. He also fought with him tooth and nail against vampires, the fiercest of them all. He died saving Jonathan Joestar's life from a vampire that a man named Dio created. He brought back. Dio indirectly and deliberately caused my ancestor Will's death. But they died with smiles on their faces. They died knowing it was okay. They helped the man they saw as a friend. And in Caesar's case, a brother. Family. The Zeppeli name means family. We do everything for our family that we can, even for strangers. The Zeppelis have helped out people for generations, centuries, and we will continue to do that. But my goal is to be a hero worthy to put me at the same status as Caesar and Will Zeppeli. Because if I can accomplish that and survive and live a long and happy life, there is no doubt in my mind that I will become the greatest Zeppeli of them all. All of them will look at me once I join them in the afterlife years from now, decades, maybe a century from now. Who knows, with Hamon I could live for a very long time. But once I finally do see them, I hope they will welcome me with open arms and tell me I did great. When I enter the gates of heaven, I hope that I can be as amazing as them. As Uraraka just states that's a noble goal and all, but how do you plan to beat people that's on that same scale? How do you hope to upscale them and all that? And Monoma just says, I'm pretty sure you're at their level already, my guy. After all, aren't you using both of their techniques as one? As Deku says, yes, but at the same time, I'm improving upon it. I'm adding in my own Hamon techniques. I'm trying to differentiate myself from them. I just don't want to be a carbon copy. That's not my goal. After all, if I'm to become greater than them, I have to take out our world's greatest threats. I have to become greater than All Might, who is the world's champion and #1 hero. After all, if I can do that, then I'm the top of the world. No one can touch me. And I'll do it all quirkless and with Hamon, just like my ancestors before me. I will not give up. I shall not concede. I will rise to the occasion. I shall become even further of a Zeppeli's chosen one. And Uraraka just says, okay, enough. Like, I get it. You want to surpass your ancestors. You want to prove that you're the best one in all of the bloodlines. And Deku says, yes, exactly. Then Monoma asks him, how exactly would you feel if you couldn't accomplish that? As Deku would say, a complete and total failure of a Zeppeli. And Kendo would say, okay, we get it. It's either failure, not an option, or success is what you've craved all along. Correct? And Deku's just like, yeah, pretty much. And Uraraka says, okay, my turn to tell you now. Basically, I just want money. That's all I want to be a hero for, is money so I can make my parents have an easier life. Deku's hearing that and he's like, I can understand your situation of wanting to ease the burden of your parents. How do they feel about that? And Uraka says, they just want me to follow my dreams. That's it. As Uraka goes on, and Deku's paying close details, and he's noticing that she's saying that her family has a construction company, and, Deku looks into it, and not letting her know anything about that, of course. So, pretty much, after they all eat and they run away, Deku looks up places in Japan, and he notices there's not a single Italian restaurant anywhere around here whatsoever. And Deku says, well, if I ever did decide to stay here, we're definitely going to need quality Italian food. So, he contacts Uraka's parents and says he has a job for them if they're able to take it. And pretty much they agree to do it. And Deku says he wants them to build him a restaurant. He's already bought the property, and he just needs a place to have his restaurant cleared off and built. And pretty much they agree to it. And Deku says the budget will be about, 12 billion. And they're like, wait, how big do you want this in? Deku just gives them the dimensions of a standard Italian restaurant. And he just says, whatever you don't use, just keep. I don't care. And basically, they begin construction on it immediately. They have $12 billion in construction money. So, to be honest, they're feeling pretty good. Like, in their heads, just like, we got this. So, they get it done really quickly. Like, within a week. Because of quirks and all that. And it's a simple build. They get it done within a week. And pretty much the only thing that's coming up for Deku is just picking his internship. Because he's already picked his hero name. Everybody else already has. And so Deku, I'm just going to say internships are pushed back a week. Because remember, new school management. So they're giving their students time to recover from the whole sports festival thing. And Deku's restaurant's built, and he says, okay, for a quick completion bonus, here's $6 million. And he just writes off the check. Because, Deku does have that type of money, because he does do jobs for the Speedwagon Foundation all throughout the years, so he's got quite a bit of money. And, of course, being one of the only people that can use Hamon, of course they'd use him for experimenting with new things, new tech, support gear, all that type of stuff. So he's very well financed, I could say. So he's not spending any of his parents' money whatsoever. Deku's literally just loaded. And basically Uraka is on the phone with her parents, and they just tell her that they're rich. And like Uraka's like, what? As she's just trying to comprehend, how did they get rich so fast? And they say, we built an Italian restaurant and we got rich off that. As Uraka's just like, how can one Italian restaurant make you this rich? And they say, well, the check was written to us by a Izuku Midoriya Zappelli. Do you have any clue who he is? And Uraka's like, that's a classmate of mine. And her parents are like, a student has that type of cash? And Uraka says, well, he is the son of the people that run the Speedwagon Foundation. And basically, their jaws drop. They have no clue whatsoever. And the next day at school, Uraka runs up to Deku and hugs him and says thank you. As Deku says, oh no, thank your parents. They did a fantastic job on that restaurant I commissioned. It was amazing. Worth every penny. And she's just like, you didn't have to pay them that much. And Deku says, I'm just trying to ease your burden. Lighten your load a bit. And she's like, I get that, but still, that's amazing. Nobody's ever done that for me. Like, thank you, honestly. And Deku's just like, look, like, I don't get why you're thanking me. I just wanted an Italian restaurant. I'm having my own personal chefs fly out to man the whole restaurant staff. So if you really want to thank me, have your parents and you come by for opening night. Opening night's free for everybody. So I'm pretty sure you guys could afford to come by. And she's like, we'll definitely be there. Thank you again. And Deku says, wait a minute. And Uraraka says, what? Deku says, well, I'd look pretty lousy without a date. So how about it? Do you want to be my date? Uraraka's face turns bright red as she's just like, sure, why not? And Deku says, great. So opening night is 4 weeks from now. Because, of course, you need to get them in there, accustomed to the new menu, let them make their menu, and tweak things that need to be tweaked, of course, find some good wait staff that's local, all that. So, I'm giving them 4 weeks' time. So, after our internships, basically, as she would say, sure, yeah, okay. Her whole mind is just like, overblown right now. She has no idea how to handle any of this whatsoever. So Aizawa comes in and he tells everybody, sit down, shut up, you have your offers here. We gave all the pro heroes an extra week to make a decision on who they wanted to intern with them and where. And so here's your list. And he says the person with the most offers, however, was not Zeppeli. And Deku's just like, interesting. Who had the most offers? As he says, the man called Dio. As Shinzo looks shocked, he's just like, wait a minute. Me? I have the most offers? I got one-shotted. And basically, as I was true, but at the same time, you also took out a whole block by yourself, the quickest out of everybody. And Shinzo's like, true, but why did I get so many offers? And Aizawa says, well, there was actually a 1 offer difference between you and Izuku here. And like Shinzo says, who would pick me over him? Aizawa says, me. I sent you an offer. And basically, Aizawa, he tells him straight up, you're a lot like me, kid, and to be honest, I want to train you. I want to make sure you're able to stand at the top level with all these other heroes who have overly flashy quirks. Your quirk's not that flashy. It's not going to stand out. So for that, I want to help you. I want to make sure you're physically able, you're strong enough, let me teach you. And basically, Shinzo says, sure. Like, of course. As Aizawa says, great. Just so you know, you might want to sleep. You have my permission to sleep through here, because we're going to be staying up all night since I'm a nighttime hero. Yeah, my internship's going to be at night. As basically, Shinzo says, okay. No problem. And Aizawa tells him that's when things are the most dangerous, so I hope you're prepared. As Deku's looking through his, and at the top of the list, it's Midnight. And he says, Midnight? Why'd Midnight send me an offer? He looks under it, Best Genus. And he's like, Best Genus? But why? And he looks under that again, Endeavor. He's like, how am I getting all of these top heroes? He looks under there again, All Might. Then he looks one more time and sees Night Eye. He's just like, okay, who are these people? And basically, Aizawa explains Midnight wants you to have her as an internship because of the whole belt thing, and she wants to train you to be more productive in that. As he goes down the list and he says, Night Eye, however, he doesn't have a flashy quirk or anything like that. He can see into the future. That's his whole quirk thing. The rest of him is just physical ability. Deku says, I'll go with Night Eye. And basically, everyone's shocked, like, Night Eye? Out of all those, you turning down All Might and Endeavor for Night Eye? And Deku looks at them and says, what's All Might gonna teach me about being quirkless and using Hamon? The dude has a fucking overpowered quirk. What's Endeavor gonna teach me? He doesn't have the first clue about proper breathing techniques, and from the looks of things, the dude can't even chill out. He's always on fire, literally, and like metaphorically. As Todoroki would say, yeah, Endeavor wouldn't be the best option for Deku. And they say, but what about Midnight? And Deku's like, to be honest, she kind of scares me. And they're like, out of everyone, Midnight's the one that scares you? Deku says, she has a pheromone quirk. And on top of that, she uses a whip, and her quirk requires her to undress. I'm good. As they're just like, dude, are you gay? Deku says, no, I'm a gentleman. I'm not gonna go for a woman whose quirk requires her to undress and flamboyantly show off her body like that. Not only that, but it's gonna mess up my whole quirk, which is breathing. It's not even a quirk. I'm quirkless, people. But if you guys keep calling it a quirk, you're gonna get me to say it eventually. It's not a quirk, it's Hamon. It's breathing. Pheromones I have to breathe in. Like, my power, Hamon, requires me to breathe fresh air. Not that. I'm good. Night Eye is the best one. His quirk is minimal at most, and the rest of him is physical ability. I need that physical ability. And Kirishima says, dude, you look like you bench press a mountain. I'd say your physical ability is good. Deku says, no. I'm going through fucking Night Eye. That's it. End of discussion. Right there. That's it. And Aizawa says, look, I understand all of you wanting to ask him why he's turning down top heroes and all that, but face it, it's his choice, his internship. If he wants to go with Sir Night Eye, he can go with Sir Night Eye. That's all there is to it. And so, everyone else makes their decisions, except Bakugo's over there in Class 1B. Bakugo's very different, because he's not getting Best Genius as an offer. No, not in the slightest. Who he does get, however, is Endeavor. So, Bakugo's going with Endeavor. Now, back to Monoma. Monoma's offer is very different. Like, Monoma, who he gets as an internship, is, well, he gets President Mike. And Monoma decides to go with President Mike. So, yeah. He's gonna get annoying really quickly. As for Kendo, she still goes with Uwambi, like Momo. And, yeah. So, everyone else is going to their canon counterparts, but Tokoyami does get Hawks as an offer a lot sooner, so he is going with Hawks. And with that, everybody goes out there, and Deku notices something's up with Ida. So he asks Ida, hey, what's up? Why do you look like somebody just kicked you straight in the balls with a steel-toed boot? And Ida just tells him, my brother's in the hospital. He was attacked by a villain. He's in critical condition. And Deku says, wait a minute. That's it? You know I can just heal him for you, right? And basically, Like, Ida just says, no, you can't. His spine was severed. You can't heal that. And Deku says, I beg to differ. Trust me, you don't have Hamon. I have Hamon. I literally just fixed a guy who didn't have a kidney. I gave him a new kidney. I can fix this. And Ida's doubtful, but he says, look, if I heal your brother, whatever thoughts going through your head, you kick it out. Alright? And you actually internship with somebody who could actually teach you. Okay? As Ida just says, who could I internship with? As Deku says, you got offers, my guy. You got some offers. So, Ida's not going to go to Hosu City whatsoever. He's actually going to go with Fat Gum. Because Deku heals Ida's brother, which means Ingenium is restored. He's back. He's top form. And Stain hears about that, and he's just like, am I a joke to you? Like, he says, I'm the hero killer. You heal from this? So now, Stain's got a grudge set against Ingenium. And that might come into play a bit later on. But, yeah. So, that whole Hosu City incident doesn't happen. Which means nothing is actually going to disturb their internship. Since the whole Stain attack was happening and Shigaraki only did that Hosu City attack to get to Stain, to kind of fuck over Stain's whole thing. But, Stain's not killing any heroes in Hosu City anymore. So, basically, Shigaraki's not there because, keep in mind, Deku, his whole thing got Ida out of that whole mindset of revenge against Stain and all that. And, like, there are a lot of pro heroes, especially with Ingenium back in Hosu City now. Like, he has a lot more backup around him. So Stain's not going to try anything with all those pro heroes there. There's too many for him to even counter now. Because since Ida's brother is back in top form and healed a lot quicker, they can establish countermeasures against Stain a lot faster. So, yeah, that's not happening. And Ida, he's thankful to Deku. He really is. And that's the start of Ida and Deku's bond right there. So, yeah, that's pretty much the whole deal. So, Ida's over there with Fat Gum. And Deku, when he sees Night Eye, he's actually very intrigued, and Night Eye is very interested in this kid. He was the sole target of a villain attack, which, of course, people don't know the League of Villains. Like, they're still unknown. They don't have any whole deals. Like, nobody knows their agenda or anything. So the League is still holding a huge element of surprise and is at a huge advantage with being kept secret. Like, they don't have any media presence or none of that. So, yeah. But Deku is just telling him it appears to be that way, but don't you think it could have been for something else? And Night Eye says, could have been. I mean, the guy they brought there was specifically targeted to counter All Might, but the MO matches that you were the target, because if they brought someone who could counter All Might to nab you, it would have made sense, but you're a lot stronger than a lot of people anticipated. And what's more, you appear to be quirkless, but is that really the case? I want to know the truth about your power. Everything that's going on in your head. Let me hear it. I want to know. Now. As Deku tells him. Go ahead, look into the future. Tell me how you think this is going to go. As Night Eye looks into the future, and he sees himself, if he tries to force it out of Deku, getting put on the ground. Night Eye says, not too good for me. So, is that actually going to happen? Because Night Eye is immediately ready for the attack, and basically, Deku says, hold up. I will tell you. It's no big secret. It's just an ancient technique that's been passed down throughout my family for centuries. It's called Hamon, and it's literally the power of the sun. So, sit down, relax, and tell me, when's the first drink of tea? And that's where I'm leaving it off. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, I'm the Crown Clown. I'll see you guys later.